Hi everyone, it's Karen, the Geordie Grandma. I just wanted to do a bit of a chatty catch-up video today. We've already had 1 week of lockdown, so I just wanted to share my feelings about the whole lockdown situation, my business, what I've been up to, just that kind of thing. So today I haven't been feeling on top of the world. I felt very unmotivated early this morning, just full of self-doubt, in lots of things in my business and what I was doing day to day on my YouTube channel, just full of self-doubt and feeling very anxious about the whole lockdown situation. It was on the daily briefing, I think it was on Sunday, where the Deputy Chief Medical Officer was saying that this could last, we'll probably not get back to normal for at least 6 months. Now, I know we're not going to be on, strict lockdown for 6 months, but just the thought of it just really drags you down. And I'd started to get into the habit of watching the news on a morning, which I don't normally do, but I like to keep up to date with what's going on. So I started watching the news, but what I felt they're doing is, yes, they're talking about what has already been, what the briefing has already said, what the Prime Minister has already said. But what I feel they're doing is they're then talking more about what's going to happen, what will happen in the future. And I just think, I don't want to know all that far ahead. I want to know how I can cope now, what I can do now, not what I can do in a month's time or 2 months' time. I need to focus on now, because I feel if we get too far ahead, it just gets too overwhelming and it's just dragging everybody down. So I'm going to have to stop watching the news on a morning. I think I'm just going to do what a lot of people seem to be doing and just watch the briefing at 5 o'clock every night and then try and not read anything else about it. I feel like I'm on Facebook as well as Instagram, and I feel like there's more doom and gloom on Facebook than there is on Instagram, so I may concentrate more on reading my Instagram posts than the Facebook posts. I think the worst thing about the whole lockdown thing for me is the fact that I can't see my grandchildren. I mean, yes, I can see them on video chat and we do that, but not being able to cuddle them, and have them running around and staying over is just, it's really hard for us. I didn't think it would be so hard, and I'm starting to feel really, not sorry for people, but realising how people must feel when their grandchildren don't live close to them and they maybe don't get to see them that often, maybe only a couple of times a year. I'm starting to really feel for those people, because you just take it for granted. Well, I take it for granted that I'm just going to see them all the time, and at the moment I just can't. Obviously, I also miss seeing me children as well. Me and Nicola, at least weekly we'll go for a cup of coffee and have a wander around the Metro Centre. It's not nothing major, but it's just lovely to have a trip out with her and have a chat over a cup of coffee and see what's happening. And even though I don't see my son Simon that often, because he's got a full-time job, he's got a busy life, and we don't get to see him and his fiancée as much as we get to see, so I'm seeing his fiancée, Simon and Hayley, as much as we see Nicola and Andrew, just because they seem to have more structured lives with work. That sounds awful, Nicola, I know you're structured, but they seem to have more structured lives where we can't go and see them. But knowing that I can't go and visit them, or they can't come visit me, does make it harder. Yes, me and Warren are both on lockdown together, but that's not always the best thing. Sometimes you get on each other's nerves and you feel you have to be doing things together all the time, where I think is we're going to have to start trying doing things apart, so we're not constantly at each other all the time. Not that we're arguing, but you know what I mean. But we did make Ashton and Harriet a video yesterday. We decided, because Ashton and Harriet both were to read books to them when they're here, so we decided that we'd read them a story and video it. So we both sat together, me and Warren both sat together and read this. It was just a little book, it's only a 5-minute video. Read the book and sort of did silly things and we posted that on the family WhatsApp group, and they seemed to enjoy that, and Nicola and Andrew actually videoed their reaction to the video, which was really nice. So you think of different ways of keeping in touch with your family, which is always good. The other thing I noticed is I saw a letter there was a post on Facebook last week, and it was a letter from Italy from a woman who obviously they've already been going through the lockdown. They're 2 weeks ahead of us, and it was a letter, you may have seen it, but it was all about the emotions and the things you go through, and there was a couple of things I picked out of it, and one was you'll eat a lot, which is very true. I'm eating far too much. I need to put a block on that. And the other one was at the first, right at the start, so at the beginning of last week, you'll make plans, you'll have a list of all these brilliant things that you're going to do that you were going to do before and didn't have time for. So you're going to do them now, and then you won't do anything. And that is so true. Last Tuesday, which was probably the first day of lockdown, we got up and were full of good intentions, and we actually decided to have a change around in our sitting room because it was quite cramped. We've got a 3-seater settee, a 2-seater settee, and a large armchair, and our sitting room isn't that big. And I just wanted to change it around, and we had the furniture every which way, and I decided we would take the mirror off the wall because I decided I didn't like it. I wanted a different mirror up there. So we took the mirror off the wall, but of course when you take the mirror off the wall and it's been there so long, there's big dirty marks all around it. So Warren, who is a decorator, decided, well, we can always paint. So I said, okay, let's paint. So off he went to his shed to see what paint he had, and he found some jasmine white emulsion. I'll probably get it wrong because that's probably the wrong word. This jasmine white paint. So he painted the whole sitting room. This was just supposed to be a change around. He painted the whole sitting room, skirting boards, woodwork, everything. And I really like the colour actually. He thinks it's got a bit of a purple tinge to it. You can probably see it in the background. I think it had a bit of a green tinge to it. So maybe one of us was colour blind. So we got that painted. I even took the curtains down and washed them. And I'm really sad to say I haven't washed them for quite a long time, so they were absolutely scruffy. So I washed the curtains, put them back up. We decided to take this armchair upstairs and put it in the bedroom. Now I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Friends where Ross and Chandler are trying to carry the settee up the stairs, but that's what it was like. If I remember, I'll put a little video in the corner so you can see what we were up to. But pivot! But I'm really surprised we got this armchair up the stairs because it's quite a big armchair, and our stairs aren't that wide, so that was a challenge, but we got it upstairs. And then I decided that the sideboard we have in the kitchen, that you can probably see behind me, would look good in the sitting room. So we took everything out the sideboard, and this sideboard is really, really heavy. It's solid oak. We decided to carry it through from the kitchen. That was the mission and a half. We've eventually got it through, and you can see it in place behind us. But I'm really, really pleased with the finished look of the whole sitting room. I'll put a picture up there again if I remember to do it. So we started off really, with great plans last Tuesday. And then after the Tuesday, we didn't do anything. We've really done nothing. I've sat and watched TV all week, read a little bit, gone for a couple of walks, but really I haven't done. I made a video a couple of weeks ago saying, these are all the things that I want to do when we're on lockdown and I've got time to do them, and I can honestly say I haven't done any of them. So I've watched quite a bit of TV. I've watched a couple of films. The first one was Venom. Now, I really love superhero movies, absolutely love them. So I hadn't seen Venom, so I thought, well, we'll watch it. I wasn't that keen on it because I hadn't really heard of Venom before. So we watched that, and I was actually really surprised. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. It was really funny. I love a superhero movie that's got a bit of humour in it. I don't just like action and, I don't like the Batman films because of that reason, because they're quite dark and there's really no humour in them. But this one, Venom, I really enjoyed. And that's actually the first film I've seen Tom Hardy in, and I was quite impressed with him. So I watched Venom. then I think Warren was doing something on his own. So I decided to watch a film for me, which he probably wouldn't like, and I decided to watch Mean Girls, which again was such a stupid film. But it was really funny, and it did actually cheer me up, so I've thoroughly enjoyed that. And another thing we've been watching, well, Warren kind of suffers it. I've watched nearly 2 series of Project Runway. I love fashion shows. I don't know why, because I'm quite boring in the things I wear. I'm not a fashion plate or anything. Basically anything I can find I chuck on. But I'm really enjoying Project Runway. It really makes us want to go out and buy new clothes, which obviously I can't. We don't know where the next paycheck's coming from or anything, so I'm not going to spend money online. But I'm really enjoying Project Runway. That's really hard to say. And it actually makes us think, do I want to start making my own clothes? Maybe that's not such a good idea. So I have been enjoying some things on the telly, reading a little bit of a book, not much. But yeah, we've walked a few times. But I'm getting really lazy, and like I said, I'm eating far too much, the wrong things, crisps and biscuits. So I really need to get a hold on that. But the good thing is we're only going shopping once a week. So once we've eaten all of the junk stuff we've bought, that's it. We're not going to shop to buy more. So I found that we're actually saving money because we're not going to the shop, on a daily, fortnightly basis. Daily, every other day basis. So it's not like I'm saying, oh, I need some crisps or I need a cake, let's go to the shop, because we're not doing that. So we are saving money. Obviously, we're not going out anywhere, we're not going to the cinema or for a drink. So we're saving money like that. And we did actually have my sister-in-law Anita decided to have a virtual party, like a video chat party, and she organised some games to play. So we did that on, I think that was Saturday night, and that was really fun actually. We got some snacks and everybody was sitting around having a drink, and yeah, that was quite fun. I quite enjoyed that. So that was a little bit different. That was something that we wouldn't normally do. The other thing that I wanted to mention is the eBay business. If you didn't know, I resell on eBay. So I buy things from charity shops, car boot sales, auctions, basically anywhere I can get something that I think I can make a profit on. So it's usually, second-hand stuff. And eBay, not last week, but when all of the stuff started about coronavirus, sales did drop. But over the last weekend, I've probably had the best weekend on eBay than I've had for a long time. So quite a few sales. So that was good. But my problem is that I'm now running out of decent stock. I've got about 380 listings, and a lot of that is clothing, which I don't feel is going to sell over the next few months. It seems to have been toys and jigsaws and things like that have been selling. There has been some other things as well, but it's mainly been toys and games and jigsaws that have sold. So I'm slightly worried that I'm going to run out of stock. But not only just run out of stock, we're actually running out of packaging materials. So I have got some, large pieces of large tea sets and things like that on that use a lot of really good boxes and a lot of bubble wrap and a lot of void fill, Warren calls it, and we're really running out of that. Now the place he normally gets his boxes and his void fill from is the paint centre, which is closed obviously because it's non-essential, so that's closed. We're not picking them up from the supermarket, so I'm going to run out of packaging. So I think I might have to take some of the more larger bundles of China off eBay for now, because I don't really want them to sell and then not be able to send them out. I have got a couple of boxes of things that I got from the auction that I could list. There's nothing brilliant in there. They're all probably low priced items. I've got a few items of clothing which I may list if I've just really exhausted everything else. I've heard a lot of people saying, they're looking in their loft, they're looking around the house for things that can sell, but I don't really have a backlog of stock. I tended not, last year I tended not to buy tons and tons of things, which I'm now wishing I had have done. So I'm definitely going to run out of stock. But that's the way it is, so we'll just have to see what goes, see what happens. Now's the time to get creative about, you know, maybe some other income streams that I don't need to buy stock for. I'll have to put my thinking cap on and see what I can come up with. So that's basically my first week of lockdown, my ramble about that. I hope everyone is keeping their spirits up and doing okay. It is so hard. I had a good cry this morning because I was feeling overwhelmed with the whole thing. And after I'd had a cry and I'd had a lovely message from one of my followers on Instagram, so Catherine, thank you so much for that. It really did give me a boost. And a lovely message from Nicola. Thanks for that, Nicola, because that also gave me a boost. I pulled myself together, had a cup of coffee, went and put my makeup on, did what I could with my hair. My roots are really starting to come through now. Paige, if you're watching, can't wait to get in a hair appointment with you when this is all finished. It's going to look horrendous. Yeah, but because of those people that really gave me a boost this morning, I decided to make this video and just, you know, pull myself together and get back into the swing of things. So I hope you found that video interesting. I know it was a bit rambly, but I hope everybody else is feeling, you know, good and keeping their spirits up. And if you're not, you know, comment below and I'll try and give you some words of encouragement, you know, that other people have given me. But thanks for listening to this. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.